have Andrew Garfield, and I'm here in the Criterion closet. Every time I watch these videos, I'm quite intimidated, and I'm like, God, if I ever do that, I'm probably gonna be so overwhelmed. But it's like being in one of those sensory deprivation pods where you're only surrounded by the most incredible cinema ever made. And I feel very genuinely humbled to have been invited here. And I'm gonna not waste any more time, and I'm gonna see what feels exciting to me. And the first thing that I come to is a man that I've worked with called Terry Gilliam, and this is one of his all-time great films, Brazil, and I adore it. It's so inventive. It's 1984-esque. It's dystopian. It's anti-capitalist. It's anti-commercialism. It is a masterpiece of rebellion and of insanity. And Jonathan Pryce has never been so incredible, and Terry has never been so let off the leash. I'm gonna start there. This is so fun. I can't believe I get to be here. Scorsese would be very upset with me if I don't grab one of his favorite films of all time, The Red Shoes, that he helped restore, I believe. And it was him that told me to see it for the first time, and I did, so there's a story. So I'm gonna grab a couple of documentaries. They're right here. And the first one is one of them is a Maisels documentary called Salesman that I watched as on the advice of Mike Nichols. I can't believe I get to be in the Criterion Collection closet and talk about the fact that I've worked with Terry Gilliam, Martin Scorsese, and Mike Nichols in the first 2 minutes. What happened? I do feel like this is a weird confessional booth. This is like a confessional booth. And I'm having revelation about how lucky I am in my life, like a visceral revelation. So we did a play called Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller, and this was one of the things that Mike said that we must watch, just to develop our souls as well as prepare us to make that play. You know, again, the kind of the failure of capitalism that we're currently living at the end of, hopefully. Hoop Dreams, another great documentary, one of the great documentaries of all time about one of the great sports. Basketball is more important to me than most things in my life. And I think that what this film does so purely is it gets in touch with our collective human longing to make something meaningful out of this life. It kind of makes, it's a film about our essential needs as human beings, to be a part of something bigger than ourselves, to try to follow the image of a dream. And it just so happens to be set in the world of the most beautiful, balletic, soulful sport. I fucking love this film. My favorite Mike Leigh film, one of my favorite films of all time, Naked, with one of the great performances of all time by David Thewlis. And Mike Leigh is someone who I just need to just bow to quickly, because he's defined British filmmaking for the last however many decades, and I just saw his most recent film. He still got it. I auditioned for him once, and it was a 3-hour audition. It was an improvised 3-hour audition where he just observed you creating a character and living as that character. No one's doing it like Mike Leigh. Oh, Kess! Another one of our great British filmmakers, Ken Loach. And it's a humanist story, and it's tragic, and it's beautiful, and it's about someone who's been kind of deemed unworthy, unnecessary, useless, and disposable, finding out that he is anything but, through his connection to nature, through his connection to a wild creature that accepts him as he is, because he's a wild creature himself. It's an honoring of his own wildness and all of our wildness, and that we all belong. Ken Loach is someone who fights for people, particularly the people who have been deemed unworthy. So, Fincher, goddamn. This is one of his early films, The Game, and it is so thrilling, and it is so fun, and you kind of go, this probably exists. What Michael Douglas is being put through, like rich guys probably like can access this kind of adventure and terror, and Sean Penn, and it's just like, I love this film. I'll watch it like once a year. The filmmaking is so good. It's so beautifully constructed. He was a master from the beginning. Happiness. I love Happiness so much. I was like mouth agape. It's a heavy film, and with the late great one of the greatest actors that has ever existed, Philip Seymour Hoffman. And I really love this. I was young, I was like 19, 20 when I saw this film, and I was like, films like this can be made and they can be profound and they can have compassion for people that we deem as monsters. I just thought it was so funny and so weird and so, you know what film can do. Company, the Cast album, one of the great documentaries, one of the great films about the creative process, the agony and the ecstasy. It's so wild, the access that you have. You feel like you're there. And it's all suggestive. There's no real narrative. You're just kind of with these artists, these like thoroughbred artists who are struggling to capture sometimes impossibly incredible music. D.A. Pennebaker, who's on the operating the camera, is right in the souls of these people. It's one of my favorite films of all time. And this is TAMPOPO, which is my father's favorite film of all time. Yeah. And I remember when we were kids, me and my brother, when we were kids, he would say, so tonight, are we gonna watch TAMPOPO? And me and my brother are like 9 and 12. And we're like, we don't wanna watch a Japanese ramen comedy, Dad. And he was like, oh, one day you'll watch TAMPOPO and you'll appreciate it. And about 10 years ago, in my early 30s, I finally bit the bullet and stopped resisting, and I watched TAMPOPO, and I realized that my dad had incredible taste. And I think one of my favorite scenes in cinema history of an egg yolk being passed back and forth between two lovers. I love this film, and I love my dad. And actually, I have to thank my dad for my presence in this closet, because my dad is a cinephile. And my dad introduced me to movies. His love of movies became my love of movies. And I just want to give a shout out to my dad for introducing me to TAMPOPO.